At this year's Annecy International Animation Film Festival, Pixar finally dropped fresh details and a sneak peek at Toy Story 5. During their stage presentation, Pixar's Chief Creative Officer Pete Docter took the mic and gave fans a look into what's next for Woody and the gang. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Docter revealed that this time around, the toys are up against something totally modern, tech. Fast forward to where we are now in the Toy Story timeline. Bonnie Anderson is 8 years old and she's moved on from her beloved toys to her new favorite thing, a frog-faced tablet called the Lily Pad. That's right, Woody and friends are now battling for attention against a touchscreen. And judging by the first concept art shown at the event, this new villain isn't playing around. The Lily Pad towers over Buzz, Jessie, and Bullseye like a digital dictator of the toy box. Basically, it's shaping up to be old-school toys versus the shiny world of always connected tech. The Lily Pad reveal was the highlight of a packed Disney and Pixar showcase that also included new release dates, unseen footage, and a couple of brand new original projects. But let's be real, everyone's eyes were on Toy Story 5. So here's the setup. Bonnie gets the Lily Pad for school messaging and online games, but the tablet starts thinking it knows what's best for her. And that means ditching her toys. Yup, Woody, Buzz, and Jessie are getting ghosted by a piece of tech. Tom Hanks, Tim Allen, and Joan Cusack are all back to voice their iconic characters, and Ernie Hudson joins the cast as Combat Carl, a tribute to the late, great Carl Weathers. Pixar also shared the official logline, which backs up everything Pete Docter teased. Buzz, Woody, Jessie, and the rest of the gang's jobs get exponentially harder when they go head-to-head with this all-new threat to playtime. Translation? The crew's up against a whole new generation of iPad kids, and it won't be easy. To top it all off, Docter gave fans a glimpse at the film's opening scene, which kicks off with a container full of Buzz Lightyears stranded on a desert island trying to escape and re-establish contact with Star Command. Some things never change. Pixar first confirmed Toy Story 5 was in the works back in early 2023, with longtime franchise vet Andrew Stanton, who's been involved in every film except Lightyear, returning to both write and direct. Plot specifics are still mostly under wraps, but we do know one thing. The toys are about to face a major challenge, staying relevant in a world run by screens and digital distractions. And yes, the OG voices are back. Tom Hanks and Tim Allen are officially returning as Woody and Buzz. Beyond that, though, Pixar's keeping things close to the chest. Still, Allen has dropped a few interesting hints, especially about Jessie and Buzz's roles in the upcoming story. According to Allen, Jessie's in for a rough ride this time. She'll find herself in some serious trouble, and Buzz will have to step up big time. Allen teased that Buzz plays a major part in the story, and Jessie's situation is the kind that pulls the whole crew back together. Without giving too much away, he even mentioned he's already recorded some key third-act dialogue for Buzz, implying there's a pretty emotional or surprising twist in store. In an interview with Collider, Allen shared that he just wrapped his first 5-hour voice session for the film. He admitted it felt a little strange slipping back into Buzz's space boots after so many years, but once he got going, it all came rushing back. More importantly, he's genuinely excited about the script. He even addressed the skeptics, saying that Pixar wouldn't have brought him and Hanks back unless they had something really worth telling. And let's be honest, when Toy Story 5 was first announced, not everyone was thrilled. Toy Story 3 and 4 already gave us some heavy, heartfelt farewells. A lot of fans felt like the story had ended on the perfect note, and some saw this new sequel as Pixar pushing the franchise too far. But Allen's confidence and genuine enthusiasm for the new story, it's a good sign. If the movie really leans into that timeless Toy Story magic, friendship, purpose, and now the growing tension between toys and tech, it could recapture the same emotional core that made us all fall in love with these characters in the first place. And yeah, Allen's hype is kind of infectious. Woody may have ridden off into the sunset with Bo Peep at the end of Toy Story 4, but let's be real, there was no way Pixar was going to leave him out of Toy Story 5. According to Screen Rant, Disney shared some new info at an exclusive presentation earlier this month, giving us a peek into how Woody finds his way back into the story. And it's all thanks to Jessie, who apparently reaches out to him for help when things go south with the film's big villain, the Lily Pad. Exactly how she manages to contact him hasn't been revealed yet, but here's the kicker. Woody's return isn't exactly smooth sailing. It's been confirmed that Woody and Buzz will end up butting heads again, which definitely raises some eyebrows. Sure, they clashed back in the original Toy Story, but by now, most fans thought those days were long behind them. The idea that they're back to arguing has people a little nervous, especially because it sounds like Woody might come off as jealous. Think about it. Woody was the longtime leader of the group, the one everyone turned to, but ever since he chose to leave with Bo, it looks like Jessie has stepped up and taken over that leadership role, and that might not sit well with Woody. This dynamic could paint him in a less flattering light, something fans are already worried about. Now, if you know Woody, you know he's always had a bit of a temper. He gets emotional, frustrated, sometimes even possessive, but his heart has always been in the right place. That's why audiences have loved him through every adventure. But the concern is that Toy Story 5 might take those traits and crank them up too far, turning him into a character who comes off as bitter or unlikable. And honestly, that would be a huge misstep. Woody's been the emotional core of this franchise for nearly 3 decades. He's grown so much, from the insecure sheriff in the first movie to the selfless mentor who went out of his way to help Forky find his place in Toy Story 4. That arc felt complete. Rewinding all that just to drag him back into the mix could undo a lot of what made his journey so powerful. There's also the bigger picture. Toy Story 5 is going to be the first big screen Toy Story experience for a whole new generation of kids. Some of them might have caught the earlier films on Disney+, but this will be their Toy Story moment. If Woody comes off as annoying or unlikable, these newer fans won't have the same nostalgic bond that older viewers do. They'll just see a cranky cowboy with a chip on his shoulder. That's the risk. And for a character like Woody, who's been such a foundational part of this franchise's heart and soul, it's a big one. Pixar has always been brilliant at character development, so hopefully they're playing the long game here and giving Woody a compelling arc that honors everything he's been through. But if Toy Story 5 is just bending his personality to fit him back into the story, that could hurt both the film and the fans who've been riding with Woody since day one. One of the biggest questions floating around right now is how exactly Pixar plans to reunite Woody and Buzz after that emotional farewell in Toy Story 4. If you remember, Woody made the tough choice to stay with Bo Peep at the carnival, while Buzz and the rest of the gang went back home with Bunny. It was the kind of ending that felt final, bittersweet and meaningful. So what could possibly pull Woody back into the mix? Well, based on what Tim Allen's hinted at, it might all come down to Jessie. If she's the one in serious trouble this time, it could be the catalyst that brings Woody back into the story. And if Jessie's got a major role, that almost certainly means Joan Cusack is returning too. She's voiced the cowgirl since Toy Story 2. Allen's also teased that Buzz has an even bigger part to play in this one, which has sparked all kinds of theories from fans. One popular idea making the rounds on Reddit is that Jessie has become Bonnie's new favorite toy, kind of stepping up as the group's new leader just as Tech starts throwing everything into chaos. But maybe Jessie's leadership doesn't go as smoothly as expected. Maybe when things start falling apart thanks to the lily pad tablet, she and Buzz realize they need their old leader back, and that's where Woody comes in. Just imagine, Bonnie gets this new iPad-style tablet, and somehow Jessie uses it to track down Woody, maybe even pinning down the carnival's location through some clever use of tech. If Woody has access to a tablet or gets pulled into the digital world somehow, that could lead to a reunion no one saw coming. We could even see the toys navigating the modern world using gadgets, something totally new for the franchise. And honestly, the fact that both Tom Hanks and Tim Allen are back is already a win for longtime fans. Throw in Joan Cusack and maybe a few more returning voices and the nostalgia factor is off the charts. But don't forget, Pixar's already shown us with Toy Story 4 that they can deliver an emotional, satisfying sequel after what felt like a perfect send-off in Toy Story 3. So there's good reason to trust that they can do it again. Plus, for younger viewers, kids who are growing up on tablets and smartphones, this new chapter hits closer to home than ever before. Director Andrew Stanton has pointed out that technology is front and center in this story. In early concept art, you can actually see Bonnie totally glued to her tablet, not even paying attention to her toys. It's a clear reflection of where we are today. The toys aren't just competing with each other anymore, they're up against the entire digital age. The timeline also looks like it's shifting to match that modern setting. Toy Story 4 was set around 2007, but tablets didn't really blow up until around 2010. With Bonnie now 8 years old and fully into gadgets, Toy Story 5 likely jumps ahead by a few more years, possibly landing us in the mid-2010s. That pushes the series right into our world, where toys have to fight harder than ever just to stay relevant. And honestly, that's a pretty powerful story to tell. And here's a fun thought. This time jump could open the door for Andy's return. At this point, Andy would have already finished college, and he might even have kids of his own. Now picture this. Andy, now a grown-up and maybe a dad, buying a Buzz Lightyear toy for his child. That could be the perfect setup for the rumors floating around about an army of Lightyears. Early concept art already teased a whole squad of Lightyears, and that immediately brings back Toy Story 2 vibes. Remember when Buzz stumbled into Al's toy barn and ran into a shelf full of Buzzers who still thought they were real space rangers? Now imagine that scenario taken up a notch. A new wave of limited edition 15th anniversary Buzz Lightyear toys, all fresh out of the box, ready to fight evil, and completely unaware they're toys. It sets the stage for a hilarious subplot with shades of nostalgia and tons of potential for heart. These new Buzz figures might be sent to Bonnie's house or to Andy's kid, thinking they're on a real mission from Star Command. And with our original Buzz still around, that could create a funny and emotional identity crisis as he's forced to face newer, shinier versions of himself. It's the kind of layered storytelling Pixar loves, funny on the surface, but packed with themes of aging, legacy, and self-worth. And if Andy does make a return, even in a small cameo, it could be a huge emotional payoff for longtime fans. The kid who started it all coming full circle, passing his toys down a second time, not just to Bonnie, but to his own family. It's a move that could tie the franchise together in a really powerful way. As the story continues to shape up, it's clear Toy Story 5 isn't just about old toys versus new tech. It's also about growing up, moving on, and maybe rediscovering what made these characters so special in the first place. Whether it's Jessie trying to hold the group together, Buzz questioning his place, or Woody being pulled back into the fight, every piece feels like it's setting up something big, something personal, and in true Toy Story fashion, it'll probably hit us right in the feels. Alongside the official cast returning, Pixar has also locked in a more specific release date for Toy Story 5, June 19th, 2026. That's a bit more precise than the original summer 2026 window, and it gives fans plenty of time to brace themselves for what's shaping up to be another emotional ride. But while there's a lot of excitement around the sequel, there's also some hesitation. Many fans still see Toy Story 3 as the perfect goodbye. Even Toy Story 4, for all its heart and closure, felt like an unexpected encore. So can Toy Story 5 justify its existence? That's the big question. Pixar's leaning hard into sequels lately, and it'll be interesting to see if this one lands with audiences or feels like it's chasing nostalgia for nostalgia's sake. The core premise is definitely timely, with the toys up against the rise of screens, digital distractions, and kids glued to TikTok instead of their toy boxes. The challenge is making sure Toy Story 5 says something meaningful about that shift without feeling like it's late to the conversation. If Pixar can balance the heart of the originals with a smart take on today's tech-obsessed world, it could strike gold again. But if it ends up just pointing fingers at Zoomers for scrolling too much, yeah, it might come off more out of touch than insightful. Here's hoping they get it right and give Woody, Buzz, and the crew a worthy next chapter.